Good evening and welcome to the Board of Mayor and Aldermen Workshop. It is December 1st, 2022, and it is 6:30 p.m. Tuesday night, we will have the prayer by Vice Mayor No. The Pledge of Allegiance will be with Alderman Waldron. Then we will have the oath of office ceremonies for myself, Alderwoman Carol Haas and Alderwoman Kara Hobbs. You should all have a copy of the meeting minutes from the November 1st, 2022 regular meeting. We will have certificates of appreciation at the meeting. And then from there, we will have the departmental reports. And then we will move on to the old business, second reading, ordinance 2022-24, an ordinance to amend the fiscal year 2022-2023 fire impact fee budget. And this was discussed last month. This is where the fire department would like to utilize the fire department impact fees for the increased service level of 9 new firefighters. Does anyone have any questions? Moving on to second reading ordinance 2022-25, an ordinance to amend the fiscal year 2022-2023 general fund budget. And this is second reading. It was discussed last month. This is tied to Fire Station 41. It's a budget amendment to allocate funding for the construction. Does anyone have any questions? Moving on to the consent agenda. And Section A, bid amendment, asphalt paving, Hawkins. Seems we have some visitors.
I have to make a report because my elves were doing their jobs.
I was baking cookies. I'm in my nightgown, reading a book, and Santa jumps in the van and says, "Come on!" And I had to jump in with him. What kind of report are you going to make tonight?
I'm telling them how well my elves are doing to make the toys for the little kids.
And what was that piece of paper I saw in your bag?
No,
don't get it out. I'm afraid I know what it is.
And I had to make a report saying who's naughty and who's nice.
This is a public forum. We cannot tell people who's naughty and who's nice.
Oh, come on.
Well, not tonight. But you know what? We can tell about some great things going on in Laverne. Would you all like to hear about some wonderful things?
Absolutely.
Yes. How about our people at home and in our audience? Absolutely. Now, Santa, if you will just stand right there.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, thank you, dear.
Aww.
Thank you, dear. He really is a dear most of the time. Well, first of all, I do have cookies here that I was working on, and, oh wait, the tray is empty. What happened to who is here? Oh my goodness, Mousy,
Aww.
what are you doing here? You heard reports and you wanted to come? Well, I tell you what, we have important business that we need to do here. So I'm going to need you to sit in the audience. Would you do that? You want to sit with a friend? Well, sure. Sure. Look out there and see which friend you would like to sit with. Oh, she wants to sit with Andrew in HR.
Everybody wants to sit in HR.
Give him a kiss, Andrew.
Thank you so
Talk
much.
about your exit paper.
All right, we have Mousy settled. We have Santa calmed down. We were hoping to be here a little bit earlier, but there was some traffic on the roads. I'll be glad when we get back in our sleigh. So, I'm going to give the report. Do you want to stand or you want to sit?
That's it.
All right, you sit. Thank you. He is a jolly old elf. So, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Alderman, and Alderwomen-elect, thank you for letting us interrupt, due to Santa, this meeting. But we wanted to share some really great things that are going on in Laverne this weekend. So what I'd like to tell you is those parks and rec and maintenance guys, those elves have been so busy. They have working and planning just to make sure that their community can make merry this season, because we all do like to make merry, right? So let's talk about what's happening this coming weekend. First, we have the Parade of Lights and Winterfest. This Saturday, December the 3rd, the parade will begin at 5 p.m. at City Hall. That's where we are, Santa.
Okay.
City Hall. Okay. And end at Veterans Memorial Park with the annual tree lighting. Watch for us at the end of the parade, because Santa and I will be in the fire truck. Yes. And Santa, I hope I get to pick the fireman of the fire truck we're going to be in. Now, on to the Winter Festival. The Winter Festival is a really fun event, and it's going to be at Veterans Memorial Park at 8 p.m. No, not at 8. It's going to begin at 3 p.m. and end at 8 p.m. The festival will include arts and crafts vendor booths, the amazing snow rink, carriage rides, and fireworks. And I will like to have a carriage ride with you, Santa. Be sure to stop by Santa's tent and take a picture with Santa and me. Now, the Senior Center will be the Senior Center, their staff and volunteers will be giving away cookies and hot chocolate at the end of the parade. Be sure to visit all the great vendors and get in the holiday spirit while listening to our Laverne High School choir. They're going to be singing beautiful Christmas carols. Do you need a little more spirit in your life? Make sure to watch the local dance club. The lovely, lavish ladies will be performing an outstanding dance routine. Then on to the skate rink. The popular free skate rink opened today. Entry is first come, first served. And did you hear that word? Free. It's free. Participants are allowed 1 hour of skate time that rotates out every hour. Skates are available for free. Rink hours are Thursday and Friday, 4 p.m. to 8 p.m., Saturdays, noon to 8 p.m., and Sundays, 1 to 5 p.m. On Sunday, December the 4th, from 1 to 2, it's being reserved for the families with special needs to give them an opportunity. Santa, that ride in the van with you going so fast has made my lips drop. All right, here we go. That's a lot of information, right? So be sure to check the Park and Rec and City Hall Facebook and the website for all the information that I just shared. And we hope to see you all on the parade route and at Winterfest. Now, Santa, did you have a little something else in that bag?
Oh, yes, indeed.
What do you have?
I have a few presents in here.
Well, let's take those out. And who are they for?
Oh, from the
Board of Mayor and Aldermen.
Board and Mayor and Alderman, Vice Mayor.
Okay. and the mayor.
And the mayor. Ooh,
All right,
ooh.
so if you want to hand those out, I'll reach in and get the rest of them out for you. You go
Okay.
right ahead.
Oh, here you go, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Santa.
Mr. Vice Mayor?
Vice Mayor.
Thank you, Mrs. Santa Claus.
Power of Santa.
Alderman
It's a
Walton.
big jug of Kool-Aid.
Here you go.
Alderman-elect Carroll.
Carol.
Just my shirt. Thank you.
And Alderwoman-elect Miss Kara.
Miss Kara. Here you go.
Hey, do you all have any questions about the information we just shared?
No, ma'am, but thank you, Santa and Mrs. Claus, for coming and paying us a visit.
You're so welcome. And on Saturday, I will not be in my pajamas. I will be fully dressed if Santa doesn't run out of there real fast. Have
Mrs.
a
Claus,
wonderful night.
Depends on my crew.
Ah.
don't forget your little friend back there. Andrew
Oh,
may
I
keep
wouldn't
him.
forget Mousy, yes. I don't know, Mousy may want to go hang out with Andrew for a little while.
They look like they're bonding.
They really are.
Hey,
Have a wonderful night.
Thank you.
thank you. I really thought somebody was trying to get
I didn't think I knew Brandon was out there, so.
So moving on to our consent agenda, approve or reject city bids and purchases. The first item we've got is a bid amendment for the asphalt paving with Hawkins Asphalt Paving LLC. And just to recap, back in August of 2021, we awarded them the asphalt paving. And so they're requesting for an amendment to this. It would basically, the cost would go up from $79 per ton to $93 per ton. And the cost, that's for BM mix, and then CW mix would go from $81 a ton to $95 a ton. Michael Dietz, do you want to come up here and just talk about any of this at all?
Thank you, Mayor, Alderman. So you pretty much summed it up. They've asked for what we feel is a reasonable increase to the bid amount. As we all know, prices have increased greatly over the last year and a half. This would get them more in line to where they can make a little bit of money and not overcharge us at the same time. So staff would recommend approval for this increase.
Okay, and do we have a total of what that would look like as a whole?
Just for comparison, we run some numbers today. So the roads that we've paved thus far this year, which was David's Way and Laverne Lane, it came in at about $316,000. With this increase, it would have put us at about $360, somewhere around there. So you're talking about a $50,000 to $60,000 increase
Okay. Does anyone
for a
have any-
project of that size.
Okay, does anyone have any questions? Thank you, Michael.
Thank you, sir.
Moving on to B, approve renewal of the cooperation with civil law enforcement officials agreement with the Department of Navy, Naval Surface Warfare Center for equipment to be used by the police department. This is for night vision goggles for the Laverne Police Department SWAT team. And the cost for the night vision goggles is $6,000. Does anyone have any questions? Moving on to C, authorize Chief Davis to sign an addendum to the Law Enforcement Support Office Program State Plan of Operation. And this is just an addendum to the existing LESO program State Plan of Operation between the state and the city of Laverne. There is no financial impact at all. Does anyone have any questions? Chief, is there anything you want to add with this?
No, that's exactly what it says. It's something we're required to do based upon documents signed by the president.
Thank you, sir. Moving on to D, approve agreement for engineering services from CTI for the Sub-basin Master Plan Agreement for the East Hurricane Creek Drainage Basin. And this has been one we're working on. It's basically we've got growth in that sub-basin. So it's been determined by city staff that some of the sanitary sewer system has reached capacity or is close to that. So this is planning for that as far as what needs to be done to build that out for future development. Does anyone have any questions? Total cost for this will not exceed $20,000. Moving on to E, approved contract with Nashville Party Authority for DJ services at the father-daughter dance to be held on February 4th, 2023 at the multipurpose building this year. And the cost of this is $600. We've used them multiple times for different events. Does anyone have any questions? Moving on to F, approve a grant contract with the State of Tennessee Library and Archives for the purchase of computers for the library. And so the library was awarded a $15,000 grant for the purchase of approximately 35 desktop computers and monitors. This is a 50-50 grant, meaning we will have to match that $15,000. If you've been over to the library and you've used their computers, they are slow, and they are in sore need of an upgrade. Would you agree with that, Glenn?
That would be true.
So, and I think we're talking about some Dell computers, Glenn? Yeah.
Be the slim form factor like we have in the offices.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions? Moving on to G, approve amendment with CTEI engineers for general consultation services regarding new hourly rates. So the total amount for this is unknown, but it will update the hourly rates for CTI for their engineering services. The city budgets for these professional services in the water and sewer budget. Staff's already aware that service requested need to stay under the budgeted amount for the fiscal year, but this is just them updating their hourly rates. Anyone have any questions? H, approve amended streetlighting agreement with Path Company and Middle Tennessee Electric Membership Cooperative for the installation of LED streetlights. And so this ties in with the approval that we did back in October with Path. And I thought we had another one on here with Nashville Electric, but this must just be with Middle Tennessee Electric. It must have gotten pulled, but it's just amending it and changing some language. There's no price change for this. It's just after we'd already approved it, they came back with some language changes. Is there any questions?
What's the 31,000 for?
That's still the same price that we approved in October with the change out for, with Middle Tennessee Electric, it would be essentially the industrial park and then everything to the south of 24.
The 31,000 is for the undepreciated amount of money that they have invested in the existing infrastructure for lights and poles and whatever. So we have to pay that off because we're replacing it. So that's part of that cost.
I got you.
Is there any other questions? Okay, moving on to I. Approve third amendment to the purchase and sale agreement with Trindad Benham Corporation for the purchase of the Public Works facility located at 148 International Boulevard. And should all have this in here. This is the third one. It's tied to them doing their due diligence for that property. And there was some right-of-way concerns. And so this is just addressing that. Is there any questions? And you should have that permanent utility easement attached in your packet, if you want to look at that. Moving on to J, approve vendor agreement for participation in the Low-Income Household Water Assistance Program with Mid-Cumberland Community Action Agency. This is a new program that we found out about from a property owner who lives in Florida, but they have property here in Laverne, and it's just like it says, it's to assist low-income households and seniors with their water bills most of the existing plans or different groups, charities that assist people with their water bills will pay a maximum of about $500. This one pays significantly more than that. We believe, and I'm not sure if it's been fully confirmed yet, that this is tied with some ARPA funds, not ours, but theirs. And there's a lot of provisions in here. So with it being tied with ARPA funds, it does open up for federal auditing, which of course we're open records anyways as a public entity. It also will have some administrative items as well, because if they overpay an account, it is the city's responsibility to pay that money back to the group. So there is some of that. Evan, and this is kind of my question for you and Phyllis, is our current policies, do they allow for us in that instance where a charitable, or not charitable group, but a group that we contract with overpays us for someone's water bill, for us to be able to cut a check back to them? I know currently they don't really do that with a third-party group, so.
I had to defer to Phyllis on that, yep.
Right now, we don't have that situation. Haven't seen that happen since I've been here, where anyone's overpaid. We do have customers that sometimes accidentally overpay their account, and we reimburse them. So I don't see that it would be a problem to process a reimbursement.
Okay. Okay, that's one thing I wanted to make sure of.
So by us, if we pass this, how long does it take it to start? I don't even
think
know what
there's-
I'm asking. I'm trying to figure out.
I think there's a qualification process where the citizen has to provide certain documentation to be approved. So that would be on Mid-Cumberland and the citizen's responsibility at that point. I think they communicate with us via some type of certificate or, a written agreement or an email and say, hey, we're helping these people. This is what we're looking at doing. But we can work off of that until the funds actually come in.
So the citizens themselves would have to fill out paperwork and
With Mid-Cumberland.
request. And
That's my understanding.
And it takes about 3 months for this project to get started, get everything up and running, is my understanding. So, and then you've got whatever the processing time is once the customer applies for the help. So it's going to take a few months to get it up and running.
hey, it's a start. I like it.
And this is a program that the town of Smyrna and CUD both already participate in. So this would add to us, and I believe this would be the only kind that we're specifically contracted with. Is that right, Phyllis?
That's correct.
Any other questions? Okay, moving on to K, approve meeting calendar for 2023. You can all see that in your packets. Review it. If you see any conflicts, any concerns, please let Bruce know, and we can see about getting those worked out before the meeting. Does anyone have any questions? Seeing none, we're going to move on to new business, Resolution 2022-26, a resolution of the City of Laverne Board of Mayor and Aldermen to declare property owned by the city to be surplus to the city's needs and directing disposal of the same. This is for stop sticks, and they're tire deflation devices that the police department use when people are fleeing the police, and they are disposing of those. Does anyone have any questions? Moving on to 9, which also ties in slightly with 8, and this is Resolution 2022-27, a resolution to donate our surplus stop sticks to Weakley County Sheriff's Office, and the Weakley County Sheriff's Office had put out a request looking for a donation of these, and so it would authorize the donation of 38 used stop sticks to this group. And once the stick is used, it's taken out of service. And Does anyone have any questions? Chief, do you want to add anything?
Yeah, I'd just like to add to that. Surplus is being generous. The way that our program is set up, the stop stick program, once a stick has been used, it's a single-use stick, and once it's been ran over by a car, to us it's trash. But to Weakley County, it's a treasure for them. So there's another man's trash, another man's treasure. So for us, and once we've used them, Stop Stick Company sends us a free stop stick. So we're not out of anything on this. So it's not like this is just stuff that we just have sitting. These are used. They may work for them, they may not work. But for us, we're not out of anything because we're getting, once we do our report with them, they send us replacements for that for free of charge. So
We have no liability.
no liability whatsoever. Evan has looked at it already, Bruce. It's been blessed, and they know that they may work, they may not work, but for us, if we wasn't donating to this agency, it would be in the dumpster. So,
I'm just curious, Chief, how long did it take us to accumulate 38 of those?
well, being that there's 9 foot, which is 9 feet, which is 3 sticks, one car can hit all 3 sticks, so that's 3 gone already. So this Laverne, people like to get away from us, so.
Or at least try to.
Yeah, and with our LPR system now, we get that quite a bit, so, maybe 6 months, maybe? Yeah.
Really?
Wow.
Okay,
And right now, each car has a set of stop sticks, so that's 3 sticks per car. CID have some, and we have some spares, so it can accumulate pretty fast. And then you could think one car chase could make 15 sticks out there, so, yeah, depending on the route of the car, you try to set up ahead of the route, which also means we have to buy tires for other cars that that run over them as well, but that's just the nature of the beast.
There
Looks
must
like
be there must be a story here somewhere.
Stay quiet with the mouse.
But yes, I just want to put that out there that we're not out of anything. It's just helping another agency. We've already paid the money and gotten replacements for them. Like I said, they would just be trash if we wasn't donating.
Where's Weakley County?
It's out West Tennessee.
Okay.
Any other questions? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Resolution 2022-28, a resolution to authorize city officials and employees to take such action as deemed appropriate to enforce the bid bond submitted by Fellowship Construction Incorporated and issued by Ohio Farmers Westfield Insurance Company. Evan, I'm going to let you take this one if you don't mind.
Yes, sir, be glad to. So some of you may remember Fellowship Construction was the low bidder on the fire station number 41 project. As a consequence of being the low bidder, they were then obligated within 10 days to enter into a contract with the city and to submit surety bonds for the performance of the contract. They failed to do that. They did more than fail to do it. They affirmatively told us that they could not or would not conform and comply with that. So that time period lapsed, and the city council at the time awarded the contract to the next bidder, which was, I think, maybe $1 million more, maybe more. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. Was it $1 million?
It's a little more.
A little over $1 million more than what the bid was on the by Fellowship. So we filed a claim against the bid bond, similar to the way you file a claim with your insurance company. That's the whole point of having the bid bond. The last communication we have received from the surety company, which is the insurance company, Ohio's Farmers, indicated that the Fellowship Construction, so the bidder who was supposed to enter into the agreement, they've hired a law firm and they're going to dispute having to pay the bid bond. It's almost $500,000. There's a lot at stake, and so that's not a big surprise. But what it does reveal to us is that we're probably in for a fight if we have any shot at trying to collect this. With that being said, we also may be up against a deadline. We're not totally sure what the deadline is, and so we all want to be flexible enough to err on the side of caution, and if we have to file suit in an effort to try to enforce this, we want the ability to do that without having to delay. So that's the whole point of the resolution.
Does anyone have any questions?
Has this ever happened to us before?
It's never, as long as I've been the city attorney, we've never had to enforce a bid bond before. And like the whole point is so that people don't come in and just submit a bid, what could be a low bid, in the hopes that maybe they get some business without a consequence to it. So the bid bond means you're a serious bidder, because if you get the contract and you don't enter into it, you're going to forfeit that bid, and you're going to owe your surety company the difference for that. So to answer your question, and maybe somebody else has a longer memory than me, but I don't ever remember having to do this. And just in a general search of the law as we kind of prepare for where we think this is headed, I have found one or maybe two cases in the whole state over the last 50 years where anybody's made an effort to try to enforce it, at least that's gone to the Court of Appeal. So it's rare. That's a long way of saying it's very rare. I don't think it's ever happened here.
So isn't this the same company that said, even though there was $1 million higher, they were going to charge us another $1 million after the fact, after a while, because they left off $1 million or something?
I think that's right, Mr. Vice Mayor. I don't know if I can totally endorse that as a fact, but I do remember that they said that they were willing to do it if they could charge more. That wasn't going to work because we'd already unsealed the bids, and then to allow them to come back and then tack on money would not be appropriate for lots of reasons. Then I think the last thing we got from them, I think when they realized that they may have been on the hook for the bond, they came back and said, okay, I think we can do it. And by that point, it was too late.
So money-wise, it's pretty much a wash, hopefully with a better company.
Well, I don't know if it's a wash, but it's certainly, I don't know, Kyle, if you.
It's not a wash going with the next bidder. It's going to cost the city more money to have the project done. However, clearly with a low bidder, we couldn't get anything worked out. They wouldn't enter into the contract. They would not do the work. So that's part of the reason why you'd call on this also is, you know, we spent a lot of effort trying to bid this out, get the project going with the low bidder, and with them not being willing to enter into a contract, it's a whole lot of work that the architectural firm and different ones that have put into this and never did get it worked out. So hopefully we can collect on this. Like Evan's stating, is we just want to make sure that there is flexibility that if he does need to file suit or anything, then he has the ability to do that in a timely manner, because we don't want to miss some deadline if they come up with something that says, well, you need within the next 10 days to file this or that. We need him to be able to have the ability and flexibility to do it.
Would it be that quick, or we don't know?
Could be.
It could be as quick as December the 15th. We're not sure, but that's why we're here, because we would not have time to meet again as a city council, and we would not want to be pressed against that.
Any other questions?
How does this affect the ordinance in the old business, item number 6, the 2022-25?
So this doesn't affect that because go back over here in the packet to 6. So 6 is, it's basically two separate items. This is where we're authorizing city officials to be able to file suit for that bid bond, which is roughly about $500,000. And then this is the second reading for the actual funding of the construction of the bid. So we went, after Fellowship declined to enter into a contract within that certain amount of time, we came back in October and awarded the bid to the next highest bidder, which is Romac.
That's what this item is right here?
Yes.
Yes, okay, thank you.
Not a problem. Any other questions? Thank you. Now we're going to move on to appoint or remove board and committee members, and we have a lot here, guys, with this. So first we have the Beautification and Arts Advisory Committee. We will need to appoint a council member to that, and then they will be chairman of this committee. And then at the same time, we also have a vacancy as Marshall Smith has resigned, and we have started advertising this on social media and on Channel 3, but do not have any applicants at this time.
Have they had a meeting yet?
No, they did not have a quorum for their first scheduled meeting, to my understanding.
All right.
Next, we have the Economic Development Advisory Committee, and this will be to appoint a council member to that board. Then we have the Greenway Advisory Committee, and so this will be to appoint a council member to that board. At the same time, we also have Melissa Joyner's term, who will be expiring December 31st, and so staff will reach out to her, see if she wishes to remain on this. We will also start advertising this on Channel 3 and on social media. Next, we have the Laverne Housing Authority. And the term for Chuck Isbell expired at the end of November. He would like to stay on this board. We currently have no other applications for this, and I do make the appointments for this board. Next, we have the Library Board. We have the City Council position open for this one, and then at the same time, we have 3 terms that will be expiring at the end of December. Bridget Cole and Gary Frazier's terms expire, and they are not eligible for reappointment due to term limits imposed by the state legislature for this type of board. Linda Steed's term also expires, and we're going to reach out to see if she wishes to stay on the board or not. This portion of it will not be on the agenda as far as the 3 vacancies. It will not be on the agenda for Tuesday's meeting, just the City Council position. Next, we have the Local Emergency Planning Committee, and we will need to appoint a council member to this committee, and at the same time, we have quite a few terms that are expiring. We've got Justin Blair's, Daniel Campbell's, Brent Hatcher, Chris Schmidt, Alex Thompson, who all expire the 31st. We'll be reaching out to everybody to see if they wish to remain on here. And you can see the different departments that they're affiliated with or groups. Next, we have the Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee. We have 1 vacancy due to the resignation of Ms. Carol Haas following her election to the board. We've not started advertising this position yet, but we have received 1 application from Rick Autry. And then also the term for Chuck Isbell will expire at the end of December. We'll reach out to him to see if he wishes to remain on this, but we will begin advertising that on Channel 3 and on social media. Next, we have the Planning Commission, and we have the City Council position for that. So the board will choose someone for that. And then we've also received 2 applications as well, Mark Molinar and Graham Coates. Then we have the Senior Citizens Advisory Committee. We have 1 term vacant, which again is Ms. Carol Haas's, where she was elected to the board. We have not started advertising this position yet, but we do have 2 applicants, Chuck Isbell and Tabitha Howard. Then we have the Beer Board. The terms of Kevin Oliver and Becky Pollock will expire on December 31st. We'll be reaching out to them to see if they wish to remain on the board or not. We will advertise this on Channel 3 and social media. This will not be on the agenda for Tuesday night. Next, we have the Historical Preservation Advisory Committee. We've got 1 term that expires, the 31st, and that's Chuck Isbell, and he went ahead and resigned from this committee prior to that. So we will start advertising this on Channel 3 and on social media. And again, this one's just informational, will not be on Tuesday's agenda. Last but not least, we have the Stormwater Appeals and Advisory Board. The terms of Megan DeBoard and Jeff Moss will expire on December 31st. We'll be reaching out to them as well as advertising on Channel 3 and on social media. Again, this is just for informational purposes only. With that, we're going to move on to Mayor and Alderman comments. Alderwoman-elect Kara Hobbs.
I just want to say thank you to everybody that has supported me to get here to this position. I'm eager to jump in and start working for the community, and I look forward to working with all of you in the next 4 years.
Thank you, ma'am. Alderwoman-elect Carol Haas.
Once again, just like Alderwoman Hobbs said, thank you to the community for your support during the election, and I look forward to the next 4 years working with the board, and happy holidays.
Thank you. Vice Mayor No.
Well, congratulations to all 3 of you. Welcome back. And I'm going to apologize to you ladies early and get it out of the way. I'm going to get Carol, Cara, Hobbs, Hoss. I'm going to get it mixed up. It's going to happen. So I go ahead and apologize now and get that out of the way. And I'm glad the election's over. That was a hard fought. You guys did great. And I hope we can continue to move the city forward as a team and work together. We're going to agree, we're going to disagree, but once we leave this boardroom, it's, you know, I know me and Jason's bumped heads, but once we leave this boardroom, that's it. So congratulations to you. Next thing is Santa Claus. I really thought somebody was trying to get in that door.
We did too, yeah, we did too.
Are you the only one that knew about this?
There's a handful that knew about this, including the police.
Okay.
Make sure Santa did not get. We wanted to make sure Santa wasn't getting tackled.
You didn't know, Chief? I didn't know. I thought somebody was trying to get in, so that was pretty cool. That's a good job by them. That's all I got.
Well, Alderman Waldron had to leave, but he would like for me to pass on that Tire World is going to have a toy drive on Saturday, December 3rd. They're asking for unwrapped gifts to be dropped off at any of their Tire World stores. He asked to make sure your pets have fresh water and shelter. Please check on the elderly. And then want to thank Santa and Mrs. Claus for making an appearance, and thank you, Chief, for not shooting them, apparently. And I'm glad we were able to work out some therapy with Andrew there. Do want to remind everybody that tomorrow, December 2nd, from 5 to 8 p.m. At Sonic here in Laverne, they will be doing our benefit for the Christmas for Kids and Seniors. And 20% of all sales will go to that, as well as 100% of all cash tips. I've heard our fire and police chiefs are both going to be out there with roller skates on, delivering food.
I'll be there. Okay.
Should be lots of fun, so please save yourself worrying about cooking tomorrow night. Go down there and let's support our kids and our seniors. Remind everybody about Parade of Lights starting at 5 p.m., so there will be some traffic on Murfreesboro Road with the road closures. So please plan appropriately, but come out, let's have a good time. Winterfest will be great. We're going to have lots of carriage rides, ice skating, singing, hot chocolate cookies. It should be a lot of fun. So I look forward to seeing everybody there. With that, I call this meeting adjourned.